Congratulations. This is Dr. Thoreau, your superintendent. It is with the highest praise for your efforts and achievement that you are being recognized as graduating Summa Cum Laude. You are the top achieving students within Talawanda. Thank you for your diligence, leadership, and superlative achievement. It did not come easy. Each of you are on the path to a preeminent college, employment, career, and life that will make a positive difference in our world. Keep up this meritorious focus, effort, and achievement. The entire district wishes you the best in all of your endeavors. I am so proud of you, and I am proud to confirm and recognize each of you as Talawanda's 2020 illustrious Summa Cum Laude graduates. Go forth and rule the world.
As Dr. Thoreau said, congratulations on your outstanding academic achievement. This is Mrs. Peter. I'll be narrating throughout the video. This group has much more in common beyond your high academic achievement. You've been very involved in your activities, taking leadership roles, making an impact on your classmates, your school, and your community. You've made lasting friendships, memories that'll last a lifetime, and impressions on all those you've interacted with. Let's get to know these outstanding young people. Let's start with Eleanor Prichard. Eleanor's fondest memories of Talawanda are her time with Setting Stone. She's enjoyed working with her friends, Mrs. Schwartz and Mr. Arney, planning their meetings, the coffee houses, working on the magazine, their trip to New York. Mrs. Day, too, has made a big impact on Eleanor, as back in middle school, she helped Eleanor discover that English is her favorite subject. This year, Miss Schwartz has encouraged her to see literature as not just something she loves, but as a major and a career path. Let's see what Mrs. Schwartz has to say.
Mrs. Schwartz here to say a few words about Eleanor Prichard. To begin, Eleanor is by far one of the most special students I've worked with this year, and just an all-out special person. I met Eleanor through Setting Stone, which is our school's literary arts magazine that I co-advise with Mr. Arney. And for a few years, we've had a really good time at our coffee house fundraisers, where Eleanor has been a force at our food and merchandise table. And this year in particular, she has been an amazing editor-in-chief and has spent many, many hours thinking about and organizing and leading some of our group activities. And I know Mr. Arney would agree with me in saying that that's just really amazing, and we appreciate her so very, very much for her contribution there. And I've also had the added pleasure of having Eleanor in AP Literature as a class this year. And it's funny because I thought that through Setting Stone I really knew her, but then also having the opportunity to be her teacher, I learned so much more. And I remember one of the first weeks of class, just on her way out of the classroom one day, she paused and said, "Oh, I just want you to know that I've been waiting for this class my whole life." And I just thought, wow, you know, what a amazing thing to say. What a nice thing to share with a teacher, just to let your teacher know that you've been looking forward to the class for a long time. And I think that moment really characterizes a lot about who Eleanor is as a student. She very, very much cares about school, but not really just for the grades, mostly for the experience of learning and interacting with her peers in an academic way, and really having a really great relationship with her teachers. And that wish to learn genuinely is one of Eleanor's strengths, and something I really, really admire in her. And as a person, she's just fantastic. Every morning I would come into school, and she and some friends would be sitting at the other end of the hallway getting ready for the day, and every morning I would get a very happy wave from them, and I just kind of knew the day was going to turn out all right. And even at the end, when our school life changed so significantly, Eleanor and a friend sat with me at the end of the day, our last day at school, and awaited news to see what would happen. And she expressed how much she really cared about school and how much the experience of learning really meant to her. And that was very moving for me. And she's worked really hard too since we've gone to distance learning, both for school and for Setting Stone. So just congratulations, Eleanor. I'm so proud of you. I know all of your teachers are proud of you, your peers are proud of you, and your family is definitely proud of you. And I wish a lot of great things for you in the future. You deserve them. Bravo.
Thank you, Mrs. Schwartz. Erika, Shanla. Erika moved to Talawanda between her sophomore and junior year. She joined the soccer team, and those are her fondest memories, playing the games she loves with her friends. When asked about someone who impacted her, Erika mentioned Mr. Bellick, her fourth grade teacher. He really encouraged her to believe in herself, to focus on growing and learning so that she could realize her dreams. Erika does the same for other people as she encourages them. She is kind, compassionate, and very empathetic. Let's see what Mrs. Arney has to say about Erika.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Arney, and I had Erika Shanla last year in AP US History. Thinking about Erika as a student, I would say that she was one of the most hardworking students I think I've ever had in class. Erika liked learning just for the sake of learning. I know that history was not her absolute favorite subject, but I would see the amount of dedication she would put in, not to just studying and doing well on tests and things like that, but to truly understanding all of the things that we were learning about in class. She was really passionate specifically about learning how other people were treated during different times, and you could just see from her concern of things that happened in the past, the big heart that she really has. Any of you watching this who know Erika know that she is one of the kindest people that you will ever meet, and it's so unbelievably genuine. I'm really excited to hear about all the great things that she goes and does in the future in Utah. I know that coming here to Ohio for the last 2 years was probably a big struggle for her, but she absolutely embraced it in a way that not many people would be able to embrace change. She came to Talawanda, she tried new things, she made a million new friends, and she made a really big impact on all of us who knew her. So I guess my wishes for Erika is just that she stays in touch with all of us that she impacted, because in reality, a lot of times people think that the teachers are the ones who impact the students, but so many students have impacted us, and Erika is definitely one of those for me. So congratulations, Erika, and to all the other seniors, and I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, Mrs. Arney. Nick Wong. When asked, Nick Wong mentioned that his friends were very instrumental in how well he's done. They've helped him understand material and get his homework done. He also commented on the teachers that he's had that have really taught him well. One thing that Nick mentioned, and I think there's a story to go with it, is his special love for cats. Maybe Mr. Schmidt knows something about this. Let's see.
This speech is to recognize Nick Wong for his academic achievements. I have been fortunate enough to teach Nick Wong in both his freshman and senior years. Like all students being recognized tonight, Nick is intelligent, has a strong work ethic, and can budget his time to complete his work. One thing that separates Nick from his peers is his love of the physical sciences. Some people are good at physical sciences, but not many people love the physical sciences. It's a lot of work and there are a lot of setbacks. Yet Nick came in every day, both years I taught him, wanting to learn as much as possible. Nick is always the first person to start on his work and will never give up until he gets the correct answer. When Nick got done with his physics work this year, he would often ask to do physical science worksheets from his freshman year, or see if he could go over to Mr. Pasquale's room to take a chemistry test from material he covered last year. Outside of the classroom, Nick has displayed talent in music. Nick was in a number of music classes throughout high school, including marching band, concert band, steel drum band, and winter percussion. This year, Nick was section leader for the front ensemble and marching band. Nick was section leader based on his playing and leadership skills. According to a member of the front ensemble, Nick gave constructive criticism, but was not mean and got the most out of his section as possible. Beyond doing well in school and playing percussion, Nick's personality is truly what makes him unique. When I heard that teachers were making videos for Summa Cum Laude students, I assumed I'd be asked to do one for Nick. Nick has called me Dad for almost 4 years now. In class, in the hallway, at band concerts, maybe even in front of his actual dad. He sometimes writes Nick Schmidt on his worksheets. Nick mentions cats a lot and even wears clothes that feature cats, maybe because I claim to like cats. I know Nick prefers his actual dad to me, and he might not even like cats. Nick does these things just to put a smile on people's faces. Everyone in life has a role. Nick's role in the high school is to help relieve stress of his fellow students. High school is a time of great stress. For honor students, that stress is multiplied. Worrying about college, AP tests, what to major in, extracurriculars, stay-at-home orders. Getting through all these issues can be difficult. When he calls me Dad, people smile and just forget about their worries for a moment. When he reminds a friend of the time he misspelled hydrogen, his classmates remember we don't have to get everything right. Nick's ability to make people smile and remove stress is probably why he was named Homecoming King. Nick has made Talawanda a better place. Nick plans on majoring in chemical engineering, where I'm very confident of his success. I am impressed with Nick, the student, and I am very impressed with the person that Nick Wong has become. You've done well, Nick. You've done well, son.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. Dylan Hainline. When asked what has led to his academic success, Dylan lists his motivation, his competitive spirit, and his desire to be the best that he can be. This matches the answers he gave about the people who impact him. He says that his parents have driven him to succeed, and his friends have been competitive yet encouraging, which has led to his success. This makes sense, since Dylan lists all the time that he has spent with his friends through high school, both in and out of the classroom, as his fondest memories.
Hey Dylan, Mr. Yuva here. Congratulations on graduating with the highest honors. Not that I can say that I'm really surprised. I think that not only are you incredibly smart, you're probably one of the hardest working students I've ever had. I appreciate the fact that you ask questions when you don't understand something, and it seems like you really try to do things the right way the first time. One of the other characteristics that I really appreciate about you is I think that you don't take yourself too seriously. And by that I mean that, if you make a silly mistake or something like that, you're willing to laugh at yourself. And that is something that will serve you really well throughout the course of your life. That's something that I try to do. I'm not always amazing at doing it, but just kind of being willing to laugh. I also appreciate that you're somebody that I feel like you switch into the teacher role when we start talking about football, specifically NFL. I'm more of a college football guy, as you know. Go Bucks. But I feel like you're incredibly knowledgeable about that, and it's nice for me to have somebody to kind of bounce ideas off of when we're talking about that. But anyway, it's been a pleasure having you in class these last couple years, and look me up someday when you were rich and famous. Again, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Yuva. Sidney K. Brown. Kay mentions lots of people who've impacted her learning. Teachers who've pushed her to be her best through encouragement and advice that will last a lifetime. Friends like Eleanor, who helped her cope with the stress of high school. And her parents who've always pushed her to do her best, including reading 500 books for Ra in kindergarten. Let's see what Dr. Weatherwax has to say about Kay.
I will be double majoring in biochemistry and pre-med at Miami University in their prestigious honors program. Kay's AP chemistry teacher, Stephen Pasquale, says, "For the past 2 years, it has been an honor and privilege to teach Kay. Kay has been one of the hardest working individuals I've ever had the pleasure of teaching. She is dedicated to her studies and desires to know and understand as much as possible about chemistry. I wish her nothing but the best and know that she is destined for great things in the future. And finally, my advice to her is believe in yourself and know that yes, you are indeed capable of great things. Here are just some of the great things that Kay has done while at Talawanda High School. In 2020, Kay won an Outstanding Attorney Award at the very competitive University of Cincinnati High School Mock Trial Invitational. In 2019, Kay won an Outstanding Attorney Award at the Butler County Mock Trial District Competition, and her team qualified for regionals. When Kay was a freshman on mock trial, she was the varsity team's biggest cheerleader. She made origami flowers and homemade cards for the team, and she went with them to regional competition as support. Her senior year, Kay was co-captain of varsity mock trial, and she took on the added role of coach for younger team members and was an invaluable taskmaster and teacher who helped them to achieve top-notch performances. Freshman Elliott says, I know that I personally, although I'm sure the whole team would say the same thing, would never have been able to do what I did, and certainly not with as much confidence, if it wasn't for Kay's advice and constant encouragement. Because of Kay's dedication and accomplishments in THS mock trial, she was selected as a recipient for the Butler County Bar Association's Judge Elliott Scholarship. Kay is a critical thinker, talented public speaker, and thoughtful and committed teammate. As Kay's coach for the past 4 years, I have seen her grow into a leader and a mentor, and I am so excited for her to continue working with THS Mock as a volunteer coach next year. A real Renaissance woman who is not only gifted in academics but also the arts, Kay was a cellist on Talawanda's orchestra from 6th through 12th grade. In 2019, the THS Orchestra won Superior First Place for a double-A string orchestra and the Esprit de Corps Award at Music in the Parks. Orchestra teacher Christine House-Shumway said, students like Kay were directly responsible for our success. She was always quietly competent and helped the orchestra get to where we did. In 2019, Kay was co-recipient of Certificates of Merit for the Columbia Scholastic Press Association and the National Council of Teachers of English for her layout of the Setting Stones Literary Art magazine. Kay is a gifted copy editor and visual designer. Her photographs have been featured in The Setting Stone, the Talawanda Tribune, and Changing Perspectives. In addition to her pursuits in academics and the arts, Kay is committed to inclusion. She has been an active member of both Diversity Club and Best Buddies. She is bright, hardworking, and deeply kind. Kay is to be commended not only for her achievements as a scholar, but also because she is a remarkable human.
So please join me, one of Kay Brown's biggest fans, in congratulating Kay and her family for all of the great things that she has already accomplished. Congratulations, Kay. The Talawanda community is so very proud of you, and we just know that you are going to go on to do many, many more great things.
Thank you, Dr. Weatherwax. Bryson Ronald. Bryson lists Game Design 2 class as some of his fondest memories of Talawanda High School. He says that Mr. Z offers classes that are interesting and help prepare him for his future career in computer science. Bryson says that his solid and consistent work ethic, his desire to do well, and his attention to detail all have led to his academic success.
I've had Bryson Ronald for almost every class that I teach at the high school. In computer science, he's been a great student all throughout high school. I think, I might be one of the people that knows him best at the high school because I've seen how great a Smash Brothers player he is. But there's a couple pieces of advice I have for Bryson. I'm not really sure how you want to do these recordings. But I think one of the things that I think that you can take away from the classes that you've had here is it is probably the most important thing for a student to be adaptable, especially when you go into computer science or technology or whatever you decide to go into. Things are always going to change. You're always going to need to be learning new skills. And I think that's one thing that you've demonstrated throughout your 4 years at Talawanda High School and the years that I've known you is that you've always been adaptable. You've always been willing to change. You've never been afraid to ask questions. And that's something that you need to hold on to, because that is going to probably be the most valuable thing that you can learn from all the classes that you've had, including the classes with me, is that you just need to make sure that you are always willing to change and adapt and be successful.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman. Mason Schwartz. Mason believes that his hard-working attitude, his passion, and his drive have led to his success. He also says that he's had super supportive parents who have offered him many opportunities. Some of these opportunities have let him become involved in band, which is where his fondest memories come from. As the drumline section leader and during marching band season and winning the Best in Class awards, Mason's really enjoyed those experiences.
Mason Schwartz. He's one of those guys that you teach him something, he picks up on it right away. You can see the wheels spinning in his head, the gears grinding. He's already thinking, well, how does this connect to what else I've learned? Where does this lead us in the future here? It's been a true pleasure to teach Mason for the last 2 years. I had him as a junior in honors chemistry, and then again this year in AP chemistry. And he's been one of the more intelligent kids I've ever had the opportunity to teach. Like I said, he just picks up on concepts really quickly, and he's able to apply them to situations that are presented to him, and he's able to connect content across topics to bring the whole picture together. So Mason, it's been a real pleasure getting to teach you for the last 2 years and watch you grow as a chemist and a scientist. I think you have a bright future ahead of you. I know you're considering engineering. That's definitely something that would be right up your alley. Your brain works that way. Mason, I'm always gonna remember that smile of yours. Not only are you a great student, you work really hard, you pick up on things really easily, and you apply it to homeworks and labs, but you're just a real easygoing kid. You take everything in stride, and even though you're taking a super challenging course load, you still manage to keep things light. And you take my harassment, and you all take it for a grain of salt, but you always have that smile on your face, and that's just something that I love to see. The kids that I coach know that I coach them because I love to see smiles on their faces. Seeing that smile on your face, which I'm sure you've got going on right now, like, it's amazing. You've got one of the best and biggest smiles out there. And keep doing that, because that people love to see that, and it makes teaching people like you all the better, because it's fun to work with kids that not only are smart and intelligent, but also enjoy school and enjoy the process. So, Mason, congratulations on all your accolades. It's no doubt you deserve them. You've worked hard for them. You've got a very bright future ahead of you at Miami next year. With engineering or whatever it may end up being. We'll miss you next year here at Talawanda, but keep smiling. We'll look forward to seeing that soon.
Thank you, Mr. Pasquale. Surewa Moore, valedictorian. Surewa reports that his parents have instilled in him a love of learning that lives within him today. Whether they were making him read the books before he watched the movies, playing complicated board games with him from a very young age, buying him Magic Treehouse books when he was first learning to read, or just encouraging him to learn what he wants to. Surewa believes that them, in combination with his work ethic and passion for learning, have helped him overcome all barriers in becoming an outstanding student. Outside of the classroom, Surewa has tons of fond memories, from leading the academic team to an undefeated season, the Smash tournament with Key Club, or the homecoming and mock trial events. Surewa has enjoyed Talawanda.
This speech will be in recognition of Surewa Moore. To start with big academic achievements, Surewa earned a 36 on his ACT and is ranked first in GPA in this very impressive class. So take that, other video makers. Your videos are fancier and your words are better, but I got to make the one for first place. When people hear of Surewa's academic accolades, they might try to emulate him. Here's my advice. No one should try to learn like Surewa does. It only works for him. For example, most people would study old notes and tests to prepare for exams. Surewa creates and completes an 85-page chem review to study for the AP exam. Most students turn in reasonably organized work. On more than one occasion, Surewa has turned in homework on the back of a piece of sheet music. And don't even get me started about his handwriting. Academically, though, what separates Surewa from his peers in a positive manner is his tremendous memory. He can take and recall more information than any student I have ever taught. He is also willing to put in unreasonably long hours to ensure academic success. Outside of school, Surewa was this year's Key Club president, and he has won multiple mock trial outstanding witness awards throughout high school. This year, he became a real leader and mentor to the younger team members on mock trial. He's also a very accomplished violin player. My interactions with Surewa more began with him joining Academic Challenge team his freshman year. For those of you that don't know, Academic Challenge is kind of like Team Jeopardy with only academic topics. He showed great promise, and by junior year, he was the best player on the team due to his extraordinary memory. Between junior and senior years, Surewa worked hard to improve in areas that her team was not very good at. He read a number of books and learned a lot about the fine arts. Surewa also made his teammates better through his unique leadership style. The other players wanted to improve for themselves, but also for Surewa. He pushed the team to play in more tournaments, and because of all this, we had great success this year as a team, and Surewa became the best player I've ever coached. While all of these awards and accolades are great, and you should be proud of what you've accomplished, Surewa, here are the moments that I will think of when I remember you. Junior year, Surewa designed a lesson on matrix algebra for his CCR class, not for a grade, but because some students hadn't learned the material yet in math class and it was coming up on the ACT. This year, we were playing Ross in Academic Challenge. Surewa simultaneously answered a literature question while also pointing out a picture of Grumpy Cat that he found in Ross's library. Surewa created a Smash Bros tournament to raise money for charity. Smash Bros is a video game. Seeing the number of students that he got involved, including some students that might not normally get involved in school functions, was impressive. In Academic Challenge this year, Surewa deserved the League Player of the Year, but he did not win it. As a coach, I was very upset with that decision, but Surewa displayed maturity beyond his years. He dealt with it much better than I did. Surewa, I wish you the best at Miami, and I know you will do great in whatever major you choose. I look forward to seeing you when you come back to help coach mock trial, and you always have an invitation to come to Academic Challenge practices and matches. Finally, I have enjoyed you as a student and Academic Challenge player and captain, but I admire your humility and willingness to help others out more. Thank you for making Talawanda a better place.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. Deidre Payne. Deidre lists serving as stage manager of the theater productions throughout high school as her fondest memories. However, swimming as part of the SWAC championship swimming team for 4 years is a very close second. She knows that her organizational skills, her desire to improve and focus on relationships have served her well in her academic success. She also credits her teachers as really helping her, especially Mrs. Alfonsi in AP Language, who helped her improve her writing.
Deidre Payne is someone that I've known for 14 years of her life, ever since she was 4 years old. From the summer when Deidre was 4 up through this past summer, Deidre swam for my summer swim team every one of those summers in between. And then she swam for me at the high school, her freshman through senior year. And then, if that's not enough time spent with her, I also had her as a student the last 2 years. I had Deidre as a student when she was a junior in my honors chem course, and then I had her as a student this past year in my AP chemistry course. To summarize Deidre, she's pretty much everything you could ask for. As a coach, she's exactly what I would love to have times 100 on my teams. She does everything you ask. She comes to all the practices. She works super hard. She doesn't quit. She doesn't give up. And she's really turned into a valuable asset for our team. This past year, her peers voted her captain of the swim team. And I think her leadership was a large part of the reason why the team had yet another successful season. Deidre was friends with everybody on the team. She made sure they felt welcomed. And she's just a great leader by example. She does all the right things, makes all the right decisions. And when I look back at Deidre's swimming career, her second to last high school meet was our SWAC meet this year, our elite championship meet. It was supposed to be a really close meet. We had won the SWAC for the past 13 years, and I was really nervous that that streak was going to come to an end. But Deidre had career bests in her 200 freestyle and her 100 breaststroke, and they were just amazing swims. When the team needed her most, she came through, and she really, really helped propel us to number 14 and kept that streak going. And I'm just so happy for Deidre that one of her last meets of her career was her best meet. And she's always going to have those great memories with her. And in the classroom, it's pretty much the same thing. Deidre does all her homework. She completes labs thoroughly, a lot of attention to detail, makes really strong conclusions. And I've really seen her grow as a scientist over these last 2 years. She's gone from being somewhat unsure of herself to being pretty confident in her abilities as a chemist. And even though she's not going on with science, I think she made a smart move taking chemistry the last 2 years, because she's seen that she does have some talent in there. And a lot of that, again, is attributed to her hard work, her dedication, and just making all the right decisions again. She's a great presence in the class. Kids love being her lab partner. They love working with her, and I think they admire her for everything that she brings to the table. So next year, Deidre is headed to the Ohio State University, where she's going to go into the business school. Deidre, you've got a very, very bright future ahead of you. Nothing in the 14 years that I've known you would suggest otherwise. I wish you the best of luck. Please keep in touch with me and with all of us here at Talawanda. The halls are going to be missing a little bit next year without you around. And we could clearly and definitely say that you're one of the reasons that make Talawanda such a special place to work at. So again, best of luck. Congratulations on all your accolades thus far. And I can't wait to see where the future takes you.
Thank you, Mr. Pasquale. May Evans. May's fondest memories of high school are hanging out and performing at Friday night football games. It's lucky that she has the skills of organization, determination, and passion in order to balance this with high achievement. May says that her mom has impacted her education tremendously because she always pushed her to do her best, but was compassionate enough not to push too hard.
Hi, May. Mr. Meese here, clearly. Sitting in his classroom, clearly. It's a Friday morning. It's rainy. It's nasty. I just need to get out of the house and, clean some stuff up. But I wanted to say congratulations. Congratulations on being top 10. That's a huge accomplishment. It's a great accomplishment. Am I surprised? Nope. Sure aren't. You have that drive. You have that passion. You strive for perfection, and that's a good thing. It's a great thing. But, I think you might want to sometimes take a step back and realize perfection isn't always the most important thing right now. I think the main lesson we can take out of these last 8-9 weeks is that, there are more important things in life. So just keep that in mind. I mean, we'll all get back to those ways, but continue to work hard. Continue to strive for perfection. I remember the time last year. Let's see, you had a test, you had 400s, you had a 95, and you were just debating whether you should redo the 95 so you had the 100. Was that 5% going to make a difference? It wasn't. Did it drive you crazy? Oh, absolutely. And I think, we told everybody you weren't going to do the 95. You came in on your own, and we did it anyway, and we got it. And that's cool. That's one of the things I love about you is that, you got the personality too. And, I will miss our visits. I will miss you coming in, speaking of your passion. I will miss you coming into my room, telling me a story at 100 miles an hour, and I don't even have time to listen yet, and you're halfway through your story. And I have to tell you to sit down, take a breath, and let's start over. I will miss those conversations. And it wasn't always about math. It was about life. And I appreciate the fact that you felt comfortable enough with me that you could confide in me, that you can blow off some steam with me, and that we could just talk and have a good time. Again, that's great stuff. Those are great memories. I will always remember and cherish that. I'll remember the times where I saw you in the hallway and you were clearly upset about something, and one of your sisters would come and tell me that why you were upset, and it was a bonehead mistake. You sent a text instead of to one person, to a whole group. Whoops, happens. But again, that shows you're human, and that's okay. And it wasn't bad stuff. So again, congratulations on everything. Good luck. Somehow, some way, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Next year, I'd love to find out what's going on. I'd love to stay in contact. I'd love to stay in contact with your sisters. You guys got a great family. It's been fun getting to know you, and I wish you all the best. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Meese. Benjamin Farmer. Benjamin's best memories of high school come from cross country, spending time with his friends, competing, and bonding together as a team. He especially loves stopping as a team for food after the away meets. Benjamin says that his parents taught him to work hard and push himself, and they are always there to help. He took those attributes into helping him be a great academic achievement, along with being a great person and building strong relationships.
Congratulations, Benjamin. I have known Benjamin since the summer of 2014 when he moved here from Alabama before his 7th grade year. And I remember how polite he was, always saying yes, sir, and no, sir. And I calculated that I probably spent about 75 hours in class with Benjamin in keyboarding class. But I've spent around 1,100 hours plus 20 minutes in 10 seasons of working with him in cross country and track and field. And I have a picture of Benjamin here from, I believe, between his 7th and 8th grade years. And he has grown up a lot since then. He is very aware of his abilities. And I think from cross country and track and field, he realized that hard work would get him to his goals. And so I want to wish Benjamin good luck as he goes to Miami and studies in the business field with a little bit of foreign language. And I mentioned that I spent about 1,100 hours and 20 minutes. Well, Benjamin knows where those extra 20 minutes are. Mondays are long run days at cross country and track practice. And there was one particular day that we were supposed to be done at 5 o'clock, and there was no Benjamin. And I waited, no Benjamin. And I waited. And 20 minutes after practice was supposed to be over, here came Benjamin, who had lost track of time and came running into the parking lot. He apologized profusely, and I forgave him. But we will never forget the long runs that never ended because Benjamin would lose track of time. But I hope as you go into your future, you will keep running and keep striving and keep working hard to reach your goals, because you know, as you have figured out over these years, hard work does pay off and it will get you to where you want to go. So congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Stiver. Ethan Krauscher. Ethan shared that his parents have taught him to be dedicated, hardworking, and resilient, and how to be satisfied with his accomplishments. This is a good thing because Ethan had a lot going on. Not only is he an outstanding student, but a multiple sport athlete and a good guy to be around. His best memories of high school are getting out of school on Fridays and getting ready for the football game and just hanging out with friends. He says it was always so normal and simple, but something I will always remember.
Hello, this is in recognition of Ethan Crasher. I was lucky enough to teach Ethan Crasher this year in honors physics. As a student, he does all the things the teacher wants to see. Ethan listens, works well in groups, completes his work in a very neat and organized manner. Many students use sports as an excuse for missing an assignment. This was never the case for me with Ethan. Ethan is very good at dealing with setbacks and rarely complains. In fact, the only time I can remember him complaining was during this stay-at-home order, and the complaint was, I miss school. I do too, Ethan. Ethan's approach to school, combined with his aptitude, is clearly why he's being recognized tonight. Though I only got to know Ethan as a student senior year, I have watched him as an athlete throughout high school. Ethan has played soccer and basketball all 4 years at Talawanda. As a freshman, Ethan was smaller than most of his opponents. In basketball, they had difficulty finding a uniform that was small enough to fit him. Ethan's size never prevented him from being successful and competing with larger players. By senior year, he had grown physically and had to take on leadership roles in 2 difficult situations. In soccer, Talawanda had graduated a huge number of talented seniors from the previous year, and it was up to Ethan as team captain to keep the team focused and under control in order for it to achieve their goals. Ethan was named captain due to his soccer skill and his ability to interact with a wide variety of personalities. The team had their share of successes, and Ethan was named first team all-conference in soccer. In basketball, the challenge was different. The team had little success during Ethan's first 3 years of high school. To make basketball even more difficult, Talawanda has had a new head coach each year throughout Ethan's high school career. This has caused a number of his classmates to quit, but to Ethan's credit, he persevered. This year, the team won more games than they had in previous years. Ethan's enthusiasm, attitude, timely scoring, and defense has helped Talawanda basketball transition towards future successes. Beyond athletic exploits and classroom successes, my favorite thing about Ethan is his ability to appreciate the small, goofy things in life. Ethan always seems to have a smile on his face. Whether it is in class or the hallways or even in the lunch line, he always seems to be sharing a joke with a friend and having a good time. Interacting with Ethan always adds to my day. And for that, Ethan, I thank you. Ethan's intended major is engineering. At least that's what I put on his letter of recommendation. I'm confident in his ability to be successful in this major, as he is talented in this area, and keeping a positive outlook is a good trait to have in engineering. Thank you, Ethan, for making Talawanda a little more fun every day. Best of luck in your future.
Thank you, Mr. Schmid. Madeline Evans. Maddie is a people person, and so when she asked about her favorite memories, she talks about having classes with her friends. She says, "We had so many laughs, and it was a delight to be able to get my education while seeing them every day." She lists her ability to listen as one of the attributes that has led to her success. She talks about her parents motivating her and always wanting her to be the best and giving her advice to succeed.
Hi, this is Ms. Clovecorn, and I'm here to congratulate Maddie Evans for achieving the honor of graduating summa cum laude from Talawanda High School. This is an amazing accomplishment and something I know that she has worked very hard for over her past 4 years at the high school. Now, I feel very lucky and blessed to have had the opportunity to actually teach all 3 of the wonderful Evans sisters. I had May and Michaela my first year of teaching at Talawanda when they were sophomores, and then the following year when they were juniors is when I had the pleasure of getting to teach Maddie for the first time. And I knew immediately, I could tell right from the get-go that Maddie was extremely dedicated and extremely hardworking to her studies. Now, not only to her studies, but also to the many extracurriculars that she participated in. I know that working with the school plays and musicals was very important to her. And I think something that I saw in Maddie was just that she was the type of person who followed her passions, fought for what she believed in, and really just was true to herself. And I think that that's something that was very admirable to see in a young adult, someone who is going off into the world. It was just, she's just an amazing person. Now, I do have a funny story about Maddie. So she was in my Honors Algebra 2 class, and I think this was second semester. Hopefully she remembers this. Ordinary day. I was just teaching whatever the super fun lesson I'm sure that day was for math class. And I hear the sound of a snack pack being opened. And I was like, oh, someone is eating their morning snack. It was fourth period, whatever. And I continue on. Then I hear this continued tug at the snack wrapper. And I'm thinking, okay, what is going on? Who cannot get their snack open? And so I look over and I see Maddie struggling to get her Welch's fruit snacks open. And she's asking the person sitting behind her to help her too. And I'm like, just go over her and I say, give me the Welch's, give me the fruit snacks. She gives them to me. I assess the situation and I find the little place to rip and I just immediately rip it open. And I just remember Maddie was in awe and she said to me, you're gonna make a great mother someday. And that just touched my heart. Someday, not anytime soon, but someday. And I will always remember Maddie for that. Even this year as a senior, even though I didn't have Maddie, it always brought me so much joy that she would stop in after school to see me. I know that she worked extremely hard in all of her AP classes and even in her college Credit Plus classes and is very, very deserving of this award. Best of luck to you, Maddie, as you venture on to The Ohio State University to study biology and pre-med. You're going to do amazing things in the future, and I cannot wait to hear from you again. Best of luck.
Thank you, Miss Clovecorn. Rosalia Fisher. Leah is a truly kind and caring person who always puts others above herself. She says about her parents that they pushed her hard, but not so hard that she cracked. I quote, "They're the reason I do so well and will continue to do well in college." She loves to see people get along and says about her classmates, "High school's filled with cliques, but at the football games, the seniors came together as a single class instead of small groups."
Leah, I'm not sure if you remember our first interaction together. I emailed you the Honors English Summer Assignment coming into your freshman year, and you responded that you didn't recall applying and you weren't even sure why you were getting the email. We went back and forth a little bit, and I encouraged you to stick with it and give it a try. I'd say the rest is history, but what's funny, I think our next interaction was about a late application to A-Push going into your sophomore year. It'd be great to say that that was the end of all the scheduling snafus, but I'd be leaving off that you forgot to check honors going into chemistry last year. Scheduling issues aside though, early on, like many of our top students at Talawanda, our interactions were mainly focused around scheduling and preparing for college. However, in the fall of your 11th grade year, you became an office worker in the school counseling office, and we had the opportunity to interact a lot more casually with one another. Probably one of the most common phrases you heard me say during that time was, "There's no worries." I remember saying that to you often when you would be struggling with maybe an assignment for Miss Alfonsi or Honors Chem or Honors Pre-Calc, and it almost became a little frustrating for you, I think, to hear me say that all the time. But what I recall talking to you about the most is life after high school. Like so many others, you've experienced a great deal of highs and lows with this process. From not knowing where to go, where to apply, scheduling your visits, getting all your applications in, it all seemed like a whirlwind at the time, I'm sure. But what I'll probably really never forget is that week where we really talked a lot and debated and discussed your options for schools down south and just how much that decision and the realities of attending there were weighing on you. I'll also never forget the email you sent me on April 4th, simply titled College. You were just letting me know that you got into Ohio State and planned to attend there. You know, don't tell anyone, but I was driving when I got that, and I just had to respond right away with my congratulations. Just because I was so excited for you. But now that I have you as a captive audience, let me tell you why I'm so excited for you. Like a lot of other Summas listening to this, you had options. You're all amazing students, and with that comes the chance to go wherever and do whatever you want to do. But sometimes the reality of life comes at you like curveballs. And when that happens, you're faced with an option. You can go down looking, hang your head, mope back to the dugout, or you can step into the pitch and knock it out of the park. Leah, whether you realize it or not, over the last 4 years, you have thoroughly convinced me that you're ready to step into this next pitch and hit a home run. And while that is true, what I have enjoyed about working with you the most is that while I'm sold on your sky-high potential, you're still realizing it. And don't misunderstand me. I think this is great. Talawanda has provided you with opportunities, mostly small, but sometimes more meaningful, where you've been able to refine your skills and learn a little bit about personal grit. Ohio State's going to do the same, but on a higher level, and someday soon the adult world will most certainly ramp things up even more. During these next 4 or 5 years at OSU, as you work towards a career in nursing and in the medical field, you're going to have more opportunities to flourish, more opportunities to rise to the occasion, more opportunities to exceed expectations, probably many of your own. And while I won't forget the joy, and relief maybe too, that we were able to share on April 4th via email, I certainly look forward to the moments of joy that lie ahead for you. Moments that your wildest dreams probably cannot even imagine. Thank you for sharing these last 4 years with me and allowing me to share these remarks with you and the rest of the Summas. I look forward to hearing about even greater things in the years ahead. Congratulations to all 26 graduates who have earned the distinction Summa Cum Laude, and congratulations, Leah. Best wishes and many blessings.
Thank you, Mr. Davy. Ella Cope. Ella lists her drive, her dedication, and her ability to think outside the box as attributes that have helped her achieve her academic excellence. Ella has used her ability to think outside the box to change our school and to change the community. Her fondest memories come from being part of Diversity Club, having fun at the GLSEN prom, dancing at coffee houses, and going to Ireland and Japan with her choir. All of these things have expanded Ella's mind and her ability even further to think outside the box.
Hi there, Talawanda esteemed graduates of the class of 2020, Miss Petro here. I wanted to take a moment to share some of my thoughts and praises for my dear friend, Miss Ella Cope. And boy, where do I even begin? As a young woman, you've accomplished so much, more than so many of us ever even dreamed to achieve. And I know that you're only just beginning. So I'll start by saying I've had the pleasure of knowing Ella for the last 3 years as the advisor of the Talawanda Diversity Club. And she is just a remarkable young woman. I have yet to see anyone match her in passion and drive and determination and this willingness to change for the better, and change those around to make it better for everyone, which is really rare and is something worth commending and celebrating more than just today in a little virtual celebration. But alas, this is the world we live in today. So Ella, my dear, you are so strong, you are so resilient, you are so diligent in your academics, in your activism, and you have the courage to stand up not only for yourself but for others. And I know you won't ever lose that, but I guess I'm here to remind you and encourage you to keep up the good work. I cannot wait to see what the future has in store for you. And boy, I hope we're all ready. I can't wait to see where you lead the rest of us in your years to come. So thank you, my dear, for all of the memories and the times we got to spend together. I am so, so grateful, so sad that we did not get to end your senior year on the note that you were probably hoping to do so. But find comfort in knowing that there are so many people that are so proud of you and are eagerly awaiting to see what the future has in store for you. So congratulations to you, Miss Ella Cope, and to the rest of you wonderful graduates of Talawanda High School. Take care.
Thank you, Miss Petro. Ryan Delvecchio. Ryan has 2 groups that are vying for her fondest memory. The first is Model UN, where she got to go each year and hear about nations around the world, interact with students from across our country, and hear both really good and comically bad resolutions. On the other hand, Chem Club was a group of students, including herself, that would need a little extra time in chemistry. And so they'd get together and they'd joke around and they'd have a lot of fun. And it was nice to have that camaraderie while they were all struggling together to learn the concepts. Ryan says that her parents are one of the people who have motivated her the most. They've really encouraged her to work to her ability, and her teachers have taken their passion for their subject and really made the information interesting to her.
Ryan Delvecchio is a student that I am not going to forget anytime soon. I've been lucky enough and had the pleasure and the honor to get to teach Ryan for 2 years now. I taught her as a junior when she took my honors chemistry course. And this year, again, as a senior, she took AP chemistry with me. And I would be hard pressed to find anyone that has the determination and the dedication that Ryan does. Ryan is quite possibly the hardest worker I've ever come across in my teaching career. She will not stop at anything to get that good grade, to get that understanding of the content, and to make sure she's doing things right. And I really love that about her. She's going to ask questions if she's unclear of things, whether to make connections between units that we're doing, to make sure she's making correct conclusions. She's going to do what it takes. She does all her homework, really studious with her note taking. You can see the wheels turning in her head as she's trying to make sense of things. And it's like I said, it's just been a real pleasure to work with a girl that works as hard as she does. And something cool about Ryan is that she had a 5.0 GPA, both her first semester and second semester of her senior year. You kids that have had me before, I like to boast about my 5.9 GPA that I pulled off in high school. Ryan, congratulations on making the 5.0 club. It's an exclusive club. You deserve to be in there. Your hard work certainly put you in there. And it's quite a exclusive club that you'll be in for the rest of your life. Ryan is headed to Miami next year. She is going to major in biochemistry, and she wants to do pre-med. She has the goal of being a neurosurgeon. Based on what I've seen with her in chemistry the last 2 years, this is definitely a career that's well suited for her. Ryan's gone from being a little bit unsure of herself and definitely being nervous in the lab to being someone that's quite confident. She definitely feels that she knows what the right answers are now. And whenever you ask her a question, she gives you thorough, detailed, and answers that are right on point. It's been really great to see her evolution as a budding chemist and scientist. And I think she would even say that she definitely feels more comfortable with chemistry now. She feels a little bit more confident in the lab now. We don't need to worry about starting any fires now. It's been great to see that evolution. Outside of the classroom, at least outside of the science classroom, Ryan is an amazing artist as well. I've seen some of her pictures that she's drawn, and they blow me away. I truthfully don't think it's possible for any human to really draw that well. This is coming from someone that has zero artistic talent. Ask her to draw you a horse sometime. It is amazing. It blows you away. And speaking of horses, Ryan also loves to ride horses. She has a horse of her own that she's been riding for a number of years. And so that's something that's really important to her as well. So not only is she a stand-up student in the classroom, she's got a lot going on outside of school too. She was co-president of Model UN this year, which was a pretty big leadership role for her, especially given her unwillingness to maybe step up and take charge sometimes. It's great to see that Ryan is now molding into a leader as well. Again, going on with that confidence that she's really gained in my classroom as well. So Ryan, congratulations on your graduation. Congratulations on Summa Cum Laude. Doesn't come as a surprise to me. Probably doesn't come as a surprise to many people because you are such a dedicated, hardworking, driven individual. Keep those qualities with you. If you keep those throughout the rest of your life, anything is possible. And I know anything is possible with you. You have a very bright future ahead of you. It's going to be different without you around next year. After having you for 2 years, we can only hope that the AP Chem crew next year is up to the standards that you and your peers have set. But keep in touch. Come back when you've got that neurosurgeon degree under your belt. And maybe you can fix up all our brains when we're all getting old here at the high school. Congrats. Best of luck.
Thank you, Mr. Pasquale. Abigail Bale. Abigail lists herself as being driven, determined, gourmand, but also willing to ask for help. I believe these come from her connection with her parents. She says about them that they offered her unconditional support, they were with her to celebrate with her achievements, and lift her up when she fell short. They were always an example of consistent hard work. She used this in her cross-country and track career, setting personally best in both sports, celebrating SWAC championships in 2018 and 19, and just being with her closest friends running together at every practice.
I am so pleased and honored to have been asked to speak today about Abigail Bale. Abby is obviously a brilliant student. Her GPA is why she's sitting at the Summa Cum Laude celebration virtually. But she is so much more than just a student who earns high grades. I first learned of Abby the summer before her junior year when I got an email from school counselor Mr. Davey letting me know that I would have a new student to the district moving from Florida in AP language. And I found out pretty quickly that Abby had received the wrong summer work. So I called and talked to her dad, and Abby was so graceful and kind about having read and done work for the wrong book. And she said, I loved the book, so it was fine with me, and I'll read the other book too. And that immediately set a tone for me for the kind of character that Abby possesses. I've rarely found students who are so cheerful about doing their schoolwork and who truly love learning as much as Abby does. She, on the first day of her junior year, came to my room with that smile and that cute little head bob and just brightened the classroom every single day. I'm not exaggerating or using hyperbole when I say that Abby has never had a bad day at school that I've seen in the 2 years that I've known her. Her smile is infectious, and she really makes everything that she's a part of just brighter, kinder, and more positive. I've had the pleasure of working with her as her National Honor Society advisor, and her senior year, her peers elected her to be vice president of the group. And she was the one who really kept me on track. She would stop by every week. Miss Alfonsi, what should we be doing for NHS? What can I help you with? She took the lead in writing welcoming cards for the new inductees this year. She helped plan every event that we did. And again, her just kindness and cheerfulness and welcoming attitude to everyone is truly, truly outstanding. Abby excels as a runner on the cross-country team. I see her most days when I leave school out there running, and I swear she even smiles when she's running. I've just never met anyone who's so infectiously happy. Abby, I want to speak to you personally and tell you that I know you've just begun to scratch the surface of your accomplishments and who you are and the person that you're becoming. I cannot wait to hear about your adventures at the Naval Academy. We are all so, so proud of you. And I have to tell you just a little personal note. My dad's retirement job is working at the commissary at the Naval Academy in Annapolis. And I was telling him about you in one of our phone conversations. And I must have sounded really, really excited about you because he literally wrote down your name and can't wait to look for you when you're on campus. It has been such a joy and a pleasure to be your teacher and your advisor and to know you. And the Talawanda family is so much richer with you having moved to Talawanda. Congratulations, Abby Bale. We could not be more proud of you.
Thank you, Ms. Alfonsi. Ana Sullivan. Anna's favorite high school memory is storming the football field after their big homecoming game win. And then they went for ice cream. She credits Mr. Pasquale for teaching her to ask questions to ensure that she understands concepts. That, along with her ability to work quickly, has ensured her academic success.
Ana Sullivan is someone who I had the pleasure of teaching during her junior year. She took my honors chemistry course. Ana was a great kid to teach. She had this easygoing personality about her. She always had a smile on her face, and she really seemed to generally enjoy school. In the classroom, she took detailed notes. She studied those notes. She always completed her homeworks. Her labs were really thorough. She did everything that a teacher could ask for. And because of that, that's why she was such a pleasure to teach. One thing that I'm always going to remember about Ana, though, early on in her junior year, she was fortunate enough to get to take a trip to New Zealand. And jokingly, I told her, bring some rocks back for me. If you know anything about New Zealand, you know it's essentially volcanic islands. And my first love is geology. Many of you may not know that since I'm a chemistry and environmental science teacher. But I really grew up loving geology, plate tectonics, earthquakes, volcanoes, collecting rocks. And sure enough, Ana came back from New Zealand with all these great volcanic rocks. And she showed them to me, and she was telling me what kind of rocks they were. And now they're on my counter, my windowsill in my room, in my little collection of student gifts. And so I'm always going to remember Ana when I see those rocks because they're from New Zealand. And New Zealand is one of those bucket list places I hope to make it to one day. I'm definitely jealous that Ana got to go. It's probably a pretty cool trip, but at least I have the rocks to savor it. So, Ana, congratulations on all your accomplishments. Clearly, you did not only see success in my class with your work ethic, but you saw it in all your classes. That's why you are graduating with Summa Cum Laude status. I enjoy that you still say hi to me this year, senior year, even though I didn't have you as a student. You like stopping in to say hi. You finally got me to break down and give those marshmallows to you. I still have some sitting in the room if you want to come back next year and get some. But I wish you nothing but the best of luck in your future. And I hope things go really well for you. You definitely have a bright future ahead of you. Best of luck. Congratulations on your graduation, on Summa Cum Laude, all your accomplishments up to this far. I'm sure many more are to come.
Thank you, Mr. Pasquale. Hefker. Kyle's an easygoing, kind of mild-mannered young man. This is demonstrated by his answer to what's helped him in his academic achievement. And he says his friends, because they were so worried about their homework that it made sure that he never forgot to do anything. It sounds just like Kyle. He lists some of his fondest memories as his involvement in the bowling team with his brother. I know he's loves math, and so that's the career he hopes to pursue, using that in computer science. And I believe with his perseverance, his natural intelligence, and his independent work ethic, Kyle will go far.
Hey Kyle, Mr. Yuva here. Just wanted to tell you congratulations on graduating and pursuing other opportunities after this year. Sorry I'm not going to get to see you here in person at graduation, but it's been a pleasure having you in class and getting to know you. I appreciate you not only, again, taking AP Bio and being willing to participate and actively engage in class, but also to join chess club. I think you're an incredibly smart young man, and I think you can do pretty much whatever it is you want to do with your life. So, my advice to most people is just find something you enjoy doing and be really passionate about it, and try to learn as much as you can about it. So if you ever need anything, any resources or anything like that, never hesitate to contact me. And again, it's been a great year, and I hope you and your family are doing well.
Thank you, Mr. Yuva. Josiah Pryce. Josiah attributes his success a lot in high school to his friends who helped him, encouraged him along the way. He says his attention to detail, his persistence, his ability to get along with others, and his good listening skills have all attributed to his success as well. His fondest memories have to do with his friends as well, watching his first Setting Stone performance.
Josiah stands out to teachers and peers as one of the hardest working scholars they have ever met. His conscientiousness is indeed unparalleled. As a freshman in my honors English class, Josiah wrote about his work ethic. I just think of how I benefit from working hard on these tasks. Working hard on homework allows me to realize that I'm benefiting towards my academic career in the future that could determine what I do when I'm older. Bringing in firewood into our garage allows me to realize that I'm allowing my family to have heat at night instead of resting in the cold of night. Throughout his time at THS, Josiah maintained his work ethic and consistently lived his principles, even when pressured by peers to not give 100%. Science teacher Scott Schmidt said, "Josiah is one of the most thorough students I have taught in my career. His willingness to put in time and effort into his work is admirable." The English department at THS has recognized that Josiah is a talented writer. AP Language and Composition teacher Christine Alfonsi said, "Josiah is a gifted writer who works to hone every word and punctuation choice." Senior English teacher Claire Squant said, "Josiah is a conscientious, detail-oriented student and a meticulous writer. I always looked forward to reading his writing because his pieces were certain to be among the best." Few students have care for detail that Josiah has, and that strength will serve him well in college. In addition to working hard on his studies, Josiah is also a diligent musician. Josiah was in an orchestra from 6th grade through high school. Orchestra teacher Christine House-Shumway said of Josiah, "He was inquisitive and was able to play in the first violin section. Josiah has been a valued member of the orchestra, and I am so happy that he played in our group for 4 years." Ms. House-Shumway also talked about how Josiah was part of the Fearsome Three with Kyle Hofker and Surewa Moore. Speaking of Surewa, he said of Josiah, "Josiah is the hardest worker that I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. He always does the highest quality work possible, even if it takes hours upon hours to do it. He doesn't have to do such a good job, yet he does, something that I really admire about his character. He's also put up with the antics of me and Kyle for these past 4 years and hasn't ever complained. Not once. I hope I can still keep in touch with him because he's going to do something great one day." Last year in my CCR class, I asked Josiah what sets his heart on fire. He responded, "My only hope in life is that every decision I make will eventually lead to someone else's day being just a bit better." I think that Josiah has figured out the meaning of life, to leave the world better off because you were in it. Congratulations to Josiah. Your hard work paid off. You are graduating with highest honors. Congratulations too to your family for raising such a diligent and kind young man. Talawanda is so proud of you, and we just know that you will continue to give 100% in all of your future endeavors.
Thank you, Dr. Weatherwax. Kai Moshe. Kai says that his favorite memories in high school is his running in muddy cross-country races. I can only imagine. Kai says that his dog Ranger has really helped him out in school by giving him those mental breaks he needs with all the challenging courses that he's taken. He also credits his time management as being a big part of success in high school.
Hey Kai, Mr. Yuva here. Just wanted to say congratulations on graduating. I really enjoyed having you in class when you were in there. Enjoyed not only your contributions to our class discussions and your great sense of humor. Also had fun playing chess with you, and I still laugh at how you were so enamored with the mechanism behind how the dual chessboard drawers opened. I'll miss seeing your classroom chair acrobatics as well. So you're a great guy, and I know that you're going to be successful at whatever it is you decide. So just be passionate and always have fun with what you're doing. So again, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Yuva. McKinley Herron. McKinley lists organization and time management skills, as well as her willingness to ask questions as things that have attributed to her academic achievement. I'm sure that willingness to ask questions came in handy during AP Lang. McKinley says about Miss Alfonsi, "She taught me things that I still think about almost every day. Her impact extended beyond strictly academics. She was someone I could go to for a laugh, advice, or even just a nice conversation." Outside the classroom, McKinley's favorite memories are going to New York with Setting Stone. Let's see what Mr. Arney learned about her.
It has been a real privilege getting to know McKinley over the last few years, and watching her become the person that she is today. I'm also excited to see where she goes after this, and excited to see the type of person that she becomes from this point. She joined Setting Stone, which is the context through which I know her. She joined when she was a sophomore, and it was the spring of that year that we took a trip to New York, and she came along for the ride, and she has been a strong member of Setting Stone ever since. This year, well, last year and this year especially, she has made significant contributions to what we do as an organization. She has been a strong leader for underclassmen, and really, honestly, a strong collaborator, not only with the students, but with myself and Mrs. Schwartz in running the coffee houses and developing the magazine. In the midst of all of this pandemic, McKinley and the Setting Stone editors and Schwartz and I have been meeting to doing Google Meets to work on the magazine and design the magazine and talk through layout and design and hopefully put together something that we can put out there in the world. And I think that speaks volumes to McKinley's character. Not just that she's been joining in on these Google Meets, but the type of contributions that she gives, the ideas that she has, her passion for art, her passion for music, her passion for learning and bettering herself. Those things are who she is. Those are the things that make up her character. And so I'm just really thankful for McKinley being a part of Setting Stone. I'm thankful for McKinley being a part of my life these last few years. And I'm thankful that I know that going forward, McKinley is going to be out there in the world, and the things that she undoubtedly will do are going to make this place, this world, a more beautiful place to live in. And so I'm just really thankful knowing that. Anyway, McKinley, thanks for being such a huge part of Setting Stone over these past few years, and I'm really going to miss you. All the best.
Thank you, Mr. Arnie. Zoey Moore. Zoey's parents raised her to work hard and always give 100% effort, but not to overload herself. Watching Zoey over the last few years, wow, she's done a lot and not felt overloaded. From her cross-country seasons where she's run with her best friends, including all the great memories of meets and team dinners and ice cream after practice, to her singing as part of our choir department, her leadership in student council, all the volunteer things that she's done around the community. Zoey has done wonderful things for Talawanda.
Congratulations, Zoey. I have known Zoey since 2015, and I have had the pleasure of working with her through 9 sports seasons, both in cross country and track and field. If you add it all up, including summer workouts, we have probably spent over 1,000 hours together. And the thing that I appreciate about Zoey is her hard work and dedication. And this picture is one that I found that I think exemplifies her personality and says a lot about her. Things have not always gone the way that Zoey has wanted them to go, but through everything, no matter the adversity, Zoey has shown perseverance and has continued to show a positive attitude, has continued to put forth that hard work, show up to practice every day, and try to make those around her better. She has a great self-awareness and recognizes difficult situations for what they are and always pushes through that adversity and keeps going. And so, Zoey, I appreciate your faith and your grace and your mercy to those around you who may have had more success than you, but I know and you know that you have always given your best and pushed to work through those difficulties, and those things that you have learned will get you through life. And so I want to thank you for letting me spend so much time with you as your coach and friend, and may God's blessings be with you in your future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stiver. Caleb Allen. Caleb says that his hard work and determination have made it possible for him to play sports, keep his grades up, and still have time for himself. His fondest memories are leading the student section during this season's football games. He was also a leader at Pride Day and really made an impact on the sophomores. He says that his mom has been his motivation. I quote him, "She has done so much for me, so doing well in school was my way to pay it back to her." Caleb has definitely done that with his excellent academic achievement.
I've known you since your freshman year when you were playing football for us, and then when you started taking my classes at Talawanda High School, and then eventually taking yearbook, I really got to know you a little bit better. The one thing that I think sticks out to me is you kind of have this ability to persevere even when things get tough. In class, whenever you would have a problem, you would work as hard as you can until you understood exactly why it was a problem and then how to fix it. And one of the things that I think is going to serve you really well as you move on to Ohio State is your ability to try to figure out the answer on your own, not relying on anybody else. I think that's going to be really important for you moving forward. And it's something that we do in IT every day. Not everybody has the answers to everything, and a lot of us just trying to figure out how to do things on your own. And I think you are really good at that, and it's something that's going to serve you well in the future. So best of luck. Please don't forget us here at Talawanda, and if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman. Alexandra Flick. Allie says that some of her best memories from high school come from this last tennis season, where she was able to serve as captain of the team. She says that her ambition and time management are what have made it possible for her to balance her sport, her challenging classes, and still allowing her to have a social life throughout high school. She says her dad was a big impactor of this. He always reminded her of missing assignments or slipping grades, which kept her on top of things and helped her be able to keep her grades up.
I'm so happy and thrilled to be able to speak about Alexandra Flick. Allie is such an exceptionally smart young woman with such a strong voice. In my AP language class last year, she and her table group of young women really created a bond that was unique, and their bond centered around talking about their reading and their writing and the thoughts that they had as young women. And I felt that Allie was a huge leader in that group. She was able to use her voice to persuade other people to be more thoughtful about anything they were talking about. She didn't use her voice to tell people they were wrong or bad or stupid, but rather she was able to question people in a way that led them to thinking more deeply about things, which I find is a rare trait in a high school student. And with that, Allie is just very mature for her age. She's a mature thinker. She's a delight to have a conversation with. I loved doing individual reading interviews with her in class because she always had something really thoughtful, often funny, sometimes snarky to say about the books she was reading. And she always made me see things in a different perspective. Allie knows that I think she should be a journalist because she's a terrific writer with a really unique tone and voice. I don't think that's what she wants to do, but I do think that Allie's abilities to communicate will give her strength in whatever she chooses. And I know that all of the people that she impacts later in her life will be struck by that voice and by Allie's thoughtfulness. Allie, you're brilliant. I think you're wonderful. If I could have filmed this video with your table group ladies from last year, I certainly would have. I'm so proud of you. You have so much to celebrate about your academic achievements. Achieving summa cum laude in high school is huge, but this is just the scratch of the surface for you. I cannot wait to see what kinds of things you do in your future, and I think you're awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Alfonsi. Lily Conley. Lily says that she has a natural talent for memorizing things and concepts, which has helped her with her academic achievement. She also says a little bit of anxiety made sure she always had her work done and done well. Her fondest memories of Talawanda aren't specific memories or a group of memories with her involvement with Diversity Club. She had a lot of good times hanging out with her friends, but they also did a lot of good things for our school. Lily's interested in using her math skills and a career, wasn't really interested in engineering, and then picked accounting. That had a lot to do with her classes with Mr. Thomas. Let's see what he has to say about her.
Well, it's no surprise Lily Cronley is suited come awesome because she took literally every class I taught. And she's been in my classroom for the last 3 years. Certainly going to miss her as she brought a lot to every class that I taught. I like to say that I spew gold, and it's up to the students to catch that gold, put it on paper. Well, Lily spews gold too. And in fact, there was one time where I couldn't figure out the difference between a flat tax and regressive tax on how it relates to the poor. And Lily raised her hand and knocked it out of the ballpark. I mean, she taught me something. And that's very rare to find, is for a student to teach the teacher. And Lily certainly can do that, and she's certainly going to teach the rest of us something as her life goes on, because she's suited day come awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. These are our 26 amazing summa cum laude graduates. They received gold stars in kindergarten, and they get their final gold star of high school tonight. Congratulations.
Good evening. I would like to congratulate all of you on this accomplishment tonight. Your parents and families deserve those congratulations as well. It takes a lot of work on everyone's part to get here. I was very happy when Mrs. Peter and Mr. York asked me to do the closing statement for this evening. Oftentimes, as an assistant principal, I don't have the same interactions with this group as I do with some groups. Having said that, there are some things I'd like to share with you. I'm sure you've been told to take life by the horns, the world is your oyster, and other things about how ambitious you should be. All of them are excellent pieces of advice. I would like, however, to share a thought with you that has proven helpful in my life. Temper your desire for success. Temper your desire for success with humility. In this world, success has almost become a bad word, something people feel guilty about. As I was preparing this message, trying to come up with what I wanted to say to you, I remembered seeing a news clip a long time ago, and I saw Nick Clooney accepting an award for his service to the community. Now, I should probably clarify and give some background for you. Nick Clooney is George Clooney's dad, and George Clooney is that guy that your aunt thinks is really dreamy. Nick said something that to me was really refreshing and insightful. He said, you can become as successful as you want to be and go as far as you want to, as long as you don't worry about who gets the credit. Think about that for a moment. You can become as successful as you want to be and go as far as you want to go, as long as you don't worry about who gets the credit. I think the message here is that if you do your work with integrity and humility, credit will go where it needs to go. If the credit goes to you, great. Enjoy it, treat it well. If you get caught up in trying to take credit for everything that happens to you, it could be a really hard road ahead. One of the important things in life and in business and in a career you'll find out soon enough is you need to surround yourself with really good people. that help you do your job. If someone needs something done, be the person who does it. When you value people and help people succeed, you are successful. Success is not merely defined by title and money. When you retire, nobody will talk about how much money you made, but they will likely talk about what kind of person you were and how you treated others. When you begin to value people instead of things, success and credit will find you. Thank you and congratulations.